Hi, and welcome to Steve's Kitchen at Steve's Pull-Out Breakfast Bar. Funky, eh? Getting ready for the coronation, so I'm having a practice run at making my coronation quiche. I say my coronation quiche, of course it's the King's. The recipe is on my iPad from Buckingham Palace, and I've got all the ingredients. I read what you had to do and I got a bit confused, so I watched a video, and then I thought, well, probably what the people of the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth, perhaps the world, would want is a step-by-step idiot's guide by an idiot on how to make it. So if you're normally a subscriber to my channel, thank you very much. If you are not normally a subscriber, please like and subscribe. Generally, you get to see me making songs, but my most popular video on this channel is actually my easy slow-cooked liver and bacon casserole. I don't know why that's the most popular video, but it is. Anyway, this will probably become the second most popular, although I would urge you to check out the music collection, which is something I'm very proud of. We're going to have a go at making this quiche. I'm going to try and do it in a single shot. I might speed up the shots a little bit so you can don't have to sort of sit around for 40 minutes or however long it takes to cook the different bits. I've got my ingredients out. I'm going to show me preparing them, and I've got the oven preheating, and yeah, it might go a little bit fast at different points and then it'll slow down so you can see exciting bits as they happen. So welcome to my kitchen. I've got some bunting up. I've got my coronation oven gloves, which my wife bought, and they're lovely. I've sold out apparently now. Yeah, so I think we're ready to go. I'm gonna get my iPad switched on. To be honest with you, step one, I bought pre-made pastry, and also the recipe online said it was in a 20 centimetre flan dish, but I didn't have a 20 centimetre flan dish, so my flan dish is wider than that. I can't remember what it was. I think it was 27 centimetres across. So this is a slightly bigger one. So I'm just going to see how many ingredients it takes to fill it, and I'll just keep filling it until it looks like it's got enough in it, and then I'll cook it. So let's go. The first thing it says that we have to do, if you have opted to go for the pre-bought pastry, is that you have to roll it out so it's about the size of this, and put it into the tin. So it did say that you only need 250 grams, and Morrison's sell this as 500 grams. So I might have too much, but I shall scatter a little flour on here. What do you think? Let's go for, I'll take a little bit off. So let's get a rolling pin. When they do this, I guess you just keep going round to get into a circle. So we are having a street party in our street. That's the invitation there. I'm going to rename the street King Charles's Close for the day. Normally it's called Queen Elizabeth Close where we live, and yeah, quite like quiche these days. I'm not sure about the ingredients of this. This has got these broad beans, which I'll be honest, I had to go and buy specially, but I don't normally have broad beans. Now, how about a bit more? It said it has to be about 5 millimeters thick. Alright, haven't got a tape measure, so I'll just be doing that by eye, but I'm guessing that's 10 millimeters, isn't it? So 5 is quite thin, but I'm quite worried about it falling apart. I got a bit confused when I was reading the instructions about when it was meant to be in the fridge and when it wasn't meant to be in the fridge. So here is some pastry. No, I think it needs to be rolled a bit more in that direction. I should divulge at this point that not only have I never made a coronation quiche before, I've never made a quiche before, but I'm always optimistic with my cooking. This doesn't always prove to be based on any evidence of capability. I once tried to, again, actually for a royal occasion, I tried to make a Battenberg, a Union Jack Battenberg cake, and that was a lot of effort, and actually you couldn't really tell it was a Union Jack. It was lots of layers of icing and sugar, and it didn't really work. Right, that's still not quite fitting, friends. Clearly not very good at this. Oh boy, and you should see the state of my shorts now. They are not looking very clean. The kitchen floor is going to need a wash and a sweep. How are you meant to make it round? It's not round at all. Right, let's have another go. Oh, my bunting's fallen down. Oh, that'll look great. Now I'm going to try and put it back up with floury hands. Well, I hope you get on better at home. And the good news is, at least it is probably going in. I hope I'm not tearing it. I mean, what do you do? So if I push down, it seems to cut off the edge bits. I guess that's what you're meant to do. Don't know. I've had this tin in my cupboard for years, never used it. So there's my base. Excuse me 1 second while I just, excuse the state of my, should have worn an apron. Bunting back up. Right, there was mention of a fork. I didn't have a fork. Right, I'm sure they did some forking in this where they just prod the bottom of it and push it into the corners. So I'm just going around my base. God, wouldn't it be good if I'd actually done a practice before I videoed myself rather than videoing the practice? Eternal optimism. Right, so it said, oh, that's the clock striking 3. It says, once you've put the pastry in the tin, make sure you've not made any holes in it, because the mixture might leak, okay? Rest in the fridge for 30 minutes. I'm not going to do that. Okay, right. Pretend it's been in the fridge for 30 minutes. Then it said, you've got a disc of greaseproof paper. Oh, I didn't do a disc, I did a rectangle. Anyway, it says screw it up so it's larger than the tin, scrunch it into a ball. This makes it more pliable. And then unwrap it and place it in the pastry case. Fill it with baking beans or uncooked rice and blind bake for 25 minutes. And by the way, your oven should be preheating at 190 degrees, 170 for fan. I just split the difference and called it 180. So, I don't know what baking beans are. I did find something in a jar of it in our kitchen, but we've never used it. I didn't know what it was. Tracy wasn't sure either. We think someone gave it to us. So, there were only about a dozen as well, so we don't think that was enough baking beans. But I looked at a video and it looks like you're meant to weight this bit of paper down. So, what I have done is gone through my cupboard and I found various different packets of half-used, easy-cooked long-grain rice, some couscous, some risotto rice, and I put it all into a bowl and I'm going to tip that over it. I'm pretty certain we're not eating this, so that is probably just going to weigh it down. So, I mean, if we do have to eat this, this is pretty gross because it's probably out of date. So, can you see that's where we're at? We've made the pastry. No, I haven't made the pastry, we've got the pastry ready. And now I'm going to put it in the oven. Alexa, set a 25-minute timer.
25 minutes, starting now.
Right, go. The next thing it says on the list, I've aligned it, put it in the oven for 20-25 minutes until nicely golden and dry. And then I take the greaseproof paper and the baking beans out and return it in the oven for 5 more minutes to dry the base. Okay. In the meantime, beat the milk, cream, eggs and herbs with some seasoning. Scatter half the grated cheese into the blind bake base. Okay, so we are going to get the other ingredients ready. So that, according to the recipe, was 125 mils of milk, 175 mils of double cream, 2 medium eggs. Now I think I said I have got a bigger base, so I'm going to add a little bit onto both of those things. I'll probably make it 150 mil of milk and let's see how much cream I bought. I've got 300 mil of cream. I might make it a bit creamier. The herbs are, there's some chopped fresh tarragon. No, there isn't. They didn't have any Morrison's, so we've got a herby thing. So, what should we do first? I think we'll do the liquid mixture. I said I was going to do 150 of milk, 150, just over 200 of cream. I've got my maths right. What was it? 150. So then that'll be 350. Yeah, that's good. So that's the creamy mixture. Oh, let's put in 3 eggs. 3 eggs. What am I doing? 1, 2, 3. No, no shell. Result. Bop, bop, bop. Seconds out. Beat the milk, cream, eggs and herbs with some seasoning. Oh yeah, herbs. So it said about 1 tablespoon of chopped tarragon. Okay. Put some of that in, shall we? About right, probably. Blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. I wonder if this is enough. I guess if it's not enough, I'll just add some more milk and cream when I fill it in. Season, it said season. So this is going to be the mixture along with the spinach and broad beans that's going to go into the flan. So now I need to cook my spinach and my broad beans. So if I have edited this bit, you might notice that all of a sudden my work surface is not covered in flour anymore because I thought it was a bit messy, and we're trying to be a professional show here. So I'm just boiling the broad beans. Apparently you can substitute the broad beans for peas if you'd rather, which if I'd read before I wouldn't have bothered buying broad beans because we don't normally have broad beans in this house. But anyway, I brought broad beans. I don't know how you're meant to buy broad beans normally. I presume they're probably in the fresh section, but I couldn't find any Morrison's, so I went to the freezer section and there were some broad beans, which was probably easier for me because they were already prepared, and I just had to pour them into a saucepan. I've used slightly more than the 60 grams because, as I mentioned, my flan tin is bigger. But if you didn't have broad beans, it says you can use peas instead, whatever you've got. And I've got my spinach boiling as well. Now, I've actually used slightly less spinach because, again, it was what was in the bag. And I've used baby spinach. I don't know the difference between baby spinach and spinach. I suppose the leaves are smaller, weighs the same, right? Tastes the same? I don't know. Fresher. Anyway, that's boiling away, and then it says you've got to try and get the moisture out of it, give it a bit of a squeeze through a sieve, and then finely chop it. So that is what I'm about to do. And maybe I'll try and look organised like they do on the cookery shows, where they put it into little bowls so it's ready to then add in at the next stage. Right, let's go and have a look at these beans and spinach. I shall be back in a minute. Spinach is cooked, just going to transfer it into the sieve, and I'm going to try and squeeze it out. Squish, squash, squish, squash. how much moisture you're meant to squeeze out of it. Still stuff coming out. How much do I squeeze out? I mean, I guess it's going to be wet when it goes into the liquid, so maybe that's enough. I've got to chop it, it says, finely chop it. So, should we call that it? Cooked spinach, lightly squeezed out, lightly, yeah, within an inch of its life, and then lightly chopped, whatever that means. Does that mean both ways? Don't know. Let's get a couple more bowls out. Let's put spinach into that bowl. Broad beans. Into there. 100 grams of cheddar grated. Oh yeah. Well, that's 150. So we have got 125 ml of milk, 175 ml of double cream. Of course we haven't because I just sort of went a bit over the top. It says 2 eggs, I've got 3 eggs. Chopped tarragon is in there. I just used it from the little tub. 100 grams of cheddar grated, I went for 150. 180 grams of cooked spinach, lightly squeezed and chopped. Yes. 60 grams of cooked raw beans, or soya beans, or peas, whatever. Well, there's some beans. Doing good so far. It says the next step is to take the greaseproof paper with the rice and couscous out of the oven and then give it another 5 minutes without that stuff on it. The challenge is going to be to make sure that no couscous and rice ends up in the quiche. Fingers crossed. Please do listen to my songs, available on Apple Music, Spotify, iTunes, wherever you get your music. If you want to send me a message and your email address, I'll just send you the files. You don't even have to pay for them if you don't stream. Also, check them out on YouTube on this channel. Here we go. Alexa, stop. Well, it would appear we've made a lovely pie of couscous and rice, which has got a nice golden colour. Hopefully, without getting it all over the kitchen, why don't I just lift the whole lot up? Yes! Yes! Oh, bugger. Well, this could be a bit of a disaster because it would appear that the quiche has... I chopped it off at the top, but it seems to have shrunk. So wiser heads will probably say you're not meant to do that, but it's look how much it's gone down, almost like the half of it. So when I pour that mix in, it's just going to spill out. That's going to be rubbish. Okay, well that's going to be a problem for a minute. Anyway, 5 more minutes in the oven to crisp the base off. Okay, well, aside from the fact that our sides are quite shallow, we are now ready for the final stage. Got some bubbles in there, but not too much. Let's just quickly read again what it says in the recipe. So it says, scatter half the grated cheese on the blind baked base. So there we go. That's about half. Then top it with the chopped spinach and beans. Just spread this around a little bit so it's evenly distributed. Still quite wet. It's not like it's dried, so it's just dropping lumps of it around. Okay. And then it is time to, should I just put them all in? Why not? Okay, all the broad beans are in there. And this is where we find out whether this very low bit here, can you see what I'm talking about? How very low side is going to actually hold it in. I'm a bit worried about this. Right. So we're pouring it in. Just tip it the other way so you can see. Oh, it's filling. Oh. Oh gosh, what can I do? Can I lift it up? Because if I could just tilt it slightly. I don't think I should put any more mixture in. Right, now it says top it off with the cheese. Is there any way we can make the cheese be a barrier as well? Put a massive lump of cheese there. I can see just the tiniest bit of the mixture has already escaped into the base. But I'm going to try, I don't know how, and put it in the oven without any more getting in. So this is going back in the oven now for another 20 or so minutes. Oh golly gosh, here's the thing, right? So when you fill it up, it is really moving around in there. So if you filled it right at the top, I don't know if it's going to expand or not. Gosh, okay, well, let's see what happens. 20 minutes. Okay, here we go. We've got a slightly oversized knife. We're going to cut into it. Don't want to. There we go. And maybe I should have left it to cool for a moment longer, but there you go. Coronation quiche. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Listen to the music. Happy coronation. Take care, everyone.